Coach Tucker here in a second. I believe everyone has recording privileges. If not, put it in the chat. Coach, if you'd like to start us off with a opening statement.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, like every week, I want to thank our medical and our operations staff who continue to work tirelessly to give our student athletes an opportunity to play each week. And God knows we need to play so we can get better, find out what we can do, and what we need to do moving forward. You know, we're building, working to build a team. You know, building on a process and hammering a culture that will allow us to have some consistency in performance. And that's what we're looking for right now. Wanted to see us come back and have a consistent performance, offense, defense, and special teams, playing complementary football today, and I didn't see that. And so obviously we have a lot of work to do. I thought we played hard in spurts. We need to play smarter. We need to be more consistent. I believe that once we figure out, what it takes to be consistent on a day-to-day basis with our guys, then we'll have a better performance and we'll have an opportunity to be good teams. I want to give Ohio State credit, obviously, because they have some good players and they're well coached. With that being said, turnovers will kill you. As we know, the not getting first downs, not being able to sustain drives, not being able to convert on third down, those things, and then not being able to run the ball the way we need to run the ball, control the line of scrimmage. Defensively, being able to stop the run. We know we had an athletic quarterback that we needed to contain. In the scramble game, we didn't do that. We know we needed to contain him in the design quarterback runs. We didn't do that. We knew we couldn't give up explosive plays in the run game and the pass game, and we gave those up. Special teams, we weren't a factor for the most part. And so, like I told the team afterwards, the only thing that I know how to do is immediately go back and watch the tape, look and see what happened and look to make the corrections. That's part of the process. And, there's no 24 hours about it. We're going to need to do that right now. I told the players they need to watch the tape tonight, okay, and then get started on Penn State tonight, which we will do as a staff so we can get ready to move on to the next one so we can have a better performance. But I was very disappointed today on how we played, and we need to do a better job with our guys to get more out of them. We need to figure out how to do that. We need to figure it out quickly because, outings like this, okay, are not acceptable. And I don't care who we're playing. And even though that was a good team, when I turn on the film, I'm going to be sick to see some of the things that we did, some of the plays that we left on the field, and that's execution. And I told the guys before the game, I've been in a lot of big games, and big games come down to execution. Having the discipline to do your job on a consistent basis against good players, having it be intensely poised and be able to execute down in and down out for 60 minutes, 4 quarters in the game, not just in spurts, but consistently. And so, we need to work towards being able to do that. And that's going to start with the film study. And it's going to go to the truth about what we are and what we are not right now, and how do we get to where we need to get to. And that process starts, here in about an hour, as soon as I can get back over to the office. And then we'll move on to the next one. I know Coach Day and all those that are affected by COVID, obviously our hearts and our prayers go out to them for a full recovery. Obviously the game is important, but the health and safety of everybody involved, players, support staff, coaches, is actually more important. So again, my thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Day and any one of his players and staff that were affected by COVID. I want to thank our fans for the continued support of our program as we work to build this thing, build it the right way, build it to last, so that we can win on a consistent level and beat good teams. We need to be more tough mentally and physically. And that's going to come through practice and preparation throughout the week. And so whatever we have to do to get that is what we'll do. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable for everyone involved. But it takes what it takes. And at some point we will be consistent, and we will be able to play at a high level, and we'll be able to beat good teams. And I'm looking for that to happen sooner rather than later. Because even though there's a certain amount of patience that you have to have in order to build and establish a culture and hammering the process, there's a certain amount of patience that you have to have. There's also a high level of urgency and intensity that goes with that, because obviously, days like this, just only fan the flames, and we got to get better faster. Because I'm not about this long-term deal. We need to get something done right now. So, whether it's what we do on the field, things that we do off the field to help prepare, give ourselves the best chance, and then in the recruiting, we need to grind that out and be relentless on that front as well. Because quite frankly, I believe that we're better than this. Some may disagree, but based upon what I see on tape, we're better than what we showed today. And so, ultimately, I got to do a better job getting out of these players what they have. Because we're not playing up to our full potential, in my opinion. And so, that's my mindset. Moving forward is what do we need to do immediately to get better right now? We need to have a much better football team when we go to Happy Valley, we go to State College. When we go to play Penn State, we got to be better on offense, defense, and special teams. And so after we watch this tape, then that's all. That's the only thing I'm gonna be focused on is getting better and getting ready for Penn State. Get this. We got to get back on the field and play. Hopefully, we can stay COVID free. We can. Hopefully, they can. They can be on track because we need to play. We need to play football and we need to play bad. We need to get out there and continue to build and find out who we are and what we can do and what we need. So with that, I'll open up the questions.
Our first question comes from Chris Solari with the Detroit Free Press.
There's a lot of places we could start with this, but let's start with the quarterback situation. First of all, how's Rocky's health after that hit? And what was your instant observations on Payton moving the offense after he came in?
Yeah, Rocky's banged up. I don't know what the extent is. I'll find out here in a little bit. And, we'll see how he is. And I know he'll be ready when he's ready. Peyton did some good things. Obviously, we were able to move the ball. We were able to sustain drives consistently, but we were able to move the ball in spurts. And so, we need to be able to build on those things that we did well, just like every week. And, spurts are not going to get it. You can't play in sections. You can't play in spurts. They got to be consistent performance, and it's not just up to one guy.
Our next question comes from Jeff Seidel with the Detroit Free Press.
Thank you. You were really animated after the late hit out of bound by Klein, and I wondered, was it the play or the flag, or why did you react that way?
You're talking about the undisciplined penalty that we had on the sideline over there. Was a 15-yard penalty. There was an undisciplined penalty.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't like those.
How do you get the guys to play with toughness and play fast, but yet with poise?
Yeah, well, it's called discipline. It's called discipline. And, you have to confront and demand that. And no one, if you can't play if you don't have the discipline to do your job, then, eventually, you're going to hurt the football team, and so, it's just not acceptable. And, it's either correctable or it's not. And if it's not correctable, then that means we need to make a change. So we're gonna find out if it's correctable or not.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Hey, Mel, we hear you talk a lot about being relentless and approaching the games with a relentless attitude. I'm wondering about some of the play calling today. It seemed there was a more conservative kind of angle here. I'm thinking of the 4th and 5 at the Ohio State 41, down 28, and you decide to punt. What was the thought process on some of those things and what seemed like more of a conservative approach today?
Yeah, if I thought we could get it, I would have gone for it. I think we had another one. It was a 4th and 1 on our own side of the field, and we went forward and we made it. I'm looking to go for it. I've shown that I'll go for it on 4th down before. If we think that we can get it, then we'll go. If we think that it's better for us to try to pooch it and punt and whatever, and then we'll do that. It's based upon a set of circumstances, and then we go. But there's not a fear factor involved. It's just a decision. And so, it's easy to sit back, in the air conditioning and say, well, we should have went for it or we didn't go for it. That's part of the deal. We didn't go for it. And so we punt. Sometimes we go for it. Sometimes we make it and sometimes we don't, but I didn't look at it as being conservative, and so, but that's for you to decide.
And I wanted to ask real quick too on the special teams, the kick returns, especially a lot of fair catches. Is that what you wanted the guys to do, or were they making the call, on the fly there on their own?
Yeah, we had a game plan where we would fair catch some and some that we returned, based upon what they were doing and what the hang times on the kicks were, based upon what we thought that we could get done with the guys that we had out there, blocking. And so, we fair caught some, and then some were returnable, and we were able to get some returns on some of those.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, we got time for a couple more. We'll go to Lindsey Huddleston and wrap up with Matt Wenzel. Lindsey?
Thank you. Mel, how do you balance focusing on Penn State within the next hour, but also getting your staff to focus on recruiting too for the future? How do you balance next week and next season all in the same time?
There is no balance. There's no balance. It's just you got to do it. It's like how do you balance like family and football? Like wife and kids and football and all that, and there is no balance. It takes what it takes. You can't be at a soccer game or a lacrosse game, when you coach it, when you need to be at practice or you need to be out recruiting. So there's no such thing as balance, in terms of certain times of the year. It's a lifestyle, and so you figure it out. But I'm not looking to balance anything out. I'm just looking to figure out a way to get it done.
Understood. All right. Thank you.
And our final question comes from Matt Wenzel with MLive.
And Bell, you obviously talked about the importance at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and they outrushed you guys by a significant margin today. What did you see that gave them the ability to win on both sides up front?
Yeah, obviously we didn't do a good job on the quarterback run game, which is technique. And maybe we got out athleted. Maybe we were not as athletic on the edge to be able to get it done. I got to look at the tape to be able to see that. I think a lot of it was technique, and having the discipline to do your job. And when the quarterback is, he can take. You saw last week when the quarterback can run the ball, that's going, that kills the defense. And then we gave up some big play runs. Then at the end of the game, when they're basically trying to run the ball, they just basically got a backup guy and they're trying to run the ball out. They run the same play that they ran in the first half. Same thing, basically just a read zone art type deal, and the guy basically hits his head on the goalpost. So, and it's untouched, and it's just a basic run. I mean, everybody in America runs that play. We run it in practice all the time. We run it, and so obviously, it's technique and fundamental and the discipline to do your job, and then maybe there might be a discrepancy on athletic ability, being there but not being able to make the play. But that had a lot to do with their run game. There was a lot of times when they ran the ball and we knocked it out and knocked it back. But then when you give up huge chunks of plays, huge chunks of yards on basic run plays, then they're gonna have 300 yards rushing. And then for us, we weren't able to get any chunks, in the run game, other than, when our quarterback was running around, so, that's not a winning formula. So, we didn't get it done run defense, and we didn't get it done offensively running the ball. That's the bottom line. You got to give Ohio State credit. We basically got stoned. And then we got to figure out, we got to look at the tape and find out why. I got to have a pretty good idea, but I have to look at the tape and we got to see exactly what it was so we can be, exact in our coaching so we can look to fix it, If you can't run the ball and you're one-dimensional, if you can't stop the run, even if it's quarterback run, you know, then you know it's not good. It's just gonna be hard to stop people when you're doing that. You know, you got to be able to control the line of scrimmage.
Is there anything
That did not happen.
sorry, is there any positives, just, quick positives you take away from what you saw for your team?
Positives,
Yes.
you know, I can't think of any right now. I know that the guys continue to play, and you know, I didn't see guys quitting in the game. I saw guys, you know, wanting to go out and play and still feeling like we could get a drive going or feel like we can go out there and stop them. You know, and I saw guys you know, that it bothered them when we weren't able to make the plays, and they care, you know, and so, you know, those are positives. Look at that, and I think the most positive thing that I could think of right now is that we got another game. Thank God, this wasn't the last game of the season. That's a positive for me because we got an opportunity to go back, look at the tape, and get ready for the next one. Because if this was the last game of the season, we had to end like this, you know, it makes for a long off season. So the positive deal is that we got an opportunity next week. Hopefully, if we can all stay COVID free and we can get the game in, we can get a chance to practice and that we can play. I think that's very positive for us because we need it.
Thanks, Mel.
All right, Coach, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate everything you guys do. You know, win, lose, or draw. I know you guys got a tough job, and I appreciate the questions. And we'll see you soon. See you on Tuesday.
Thanks, Mel.
All right, we'll be joined by Peyton Thorne here pretty soon. All right, at this time, we're joined by Peyton Thorne. We'll start with a question from Matt Wenzel.
Hey, Peyton, obviously we saw you play a pretty, decent amount of minutes against Indiana. How much did that experience prepare you for today? And do you think you were maybe a little less nervous to go in there?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that time helped coming before today, getting out there and getting some of those first real snaps under your belt and kind of feeling the speed of the game, the tempo of the game, and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I definitely think that helped prepare me for today.
Obviously, Ohio State's one of the best teams in the nation just about every year. What do you think of, your performance against a team like that and what you're able to do moving the ball at times there?
Yeah, I mean, credit Ohio State, obviously. Like you said, they're one of the best teams in the country every year, and they play in our division. And I know in the last 10 years that we've beaten them before, and we got to be better. And I know Coach Tucker is going to have us ready to play next week and in the coming years when we do get to play Ohio State again. And yeah, they're a great team, and but yeah, we definitely got to be better than scoring 10 points. Moving the ball only means so much if you're not scoring.
Thanks, Peyton.
Our next question is from Chris Solari.
Hey, Peyton. First, do you feel like anybody in this locker room saw this coming this week, knowing the situation Ohio State was in?
No, absolutely not. We felt pretty good coming into the game, and obviously we did not play good enough, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
What do you feel between last week against Northwestern, where you were at the highest of the highs, to this point? What maybe changed in that?
Oh man, I don't really know. Again, I felt like we were pretty prepared coming to this game, and we just didn't execute out there, and that's what it comes down to. And that starts with me at the quarterback, and everyone else. You know, football's the ultimate team game, and takes everyone to execute. So we're gonna go back to work this week and make sure that we're ready to go on a week from today.
Our next question is from Eli McCown with State News.
Hey Peyton, you obviously come in. When you start, you're down 28-0. I want to ask that, how tough is that for you, trying to come in and try to make plays when you're down 28-0, and then obviously you're able to make some plays with that. So, how are you able to make some of those plays and keep going and keep fighting like that when you still are 28-0?
I think no matter what the score is, you got to keep fighting. My dad actually has told me for the past years just to fight one more round, kind of a boxing analogy, and that really has stuck with me. And it doesn't matter how bad you're getting beat in the face, and obviously we didn't get off to a very good start, but you just got to keep fighting. And I think that if you act like the score isn't even a part of it, and you just keep coming out and playing each play, and Coach Johnson talks about playing each play, and I think that if you go out and do that, then you'll be set up for success. And obviously today we weren't very successful with much we did, but yeah, I think that it was unfortunate that it got out of hand early, and we just got to get out to a little bit better of a start, and then we'll go from there.
Thanks, Peyton.
Our next one is from Mike with WZZM.
Coach indicated after the game that the 24-hour rule for him is not void. He's going to get out of here right now and go to his office and start immediately preparing for the game plan against Penn State and to kind of put this one behind you. How do you handle a loss like this? Do you need 24 hours to process it, or are you the same way right now? You are going to do whatever it takes to get right back to work.
Yeah, I totally agree with him. I mean, playing this game's a 7 days of the week thing, and growing up as a coach's kid, I know that for sure. During the week, I hardly even saw my dad, and here at the highest level, you don't have time to take 24 hours. You got to watch that film tonight of today's game, and then I'm going to try to get all my homework out of the way for this next week and make sure it's done by the end of tomorrow night, or hopefully even tonight would be great. And then get started on Penn State and watch as much as I can before the work week really starts on Monday. And I mean, we got stuff tomorrow, and we'll be in the facility tomorrow on Sunday, making sure that we're getting our bodies right and getting ready to go for next week.
Next, we'll go out to Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Peyton. Excuse me. I'm curious about the halftime discussions amongst yourself and the offense. You go in 28-0, and then you've had a little bit of time to get comfortable. Once you have that time to breathe and evaluate what has been working, what hasn't, everything, just what was the sort of the strategy or the mindset coming out in the second half for the offense?
Just to execute and try to move the ball down the field and ultimately score. Like I said, that's what it comes down to on offense. If you don't score on offense, then who cares if you have 500 yards? If you only score 10 points, and not that we had 500 yards, but you can rack up as many yards as you want, but if you're not scoring, then you're not doing anything. So we talked at halftime. I got our call sheet out and was trying to find stuff that maybe we hadn't ran yet and stuff like that. And we talked with Coach about things we liked, and we came out and tried to run those in the second half. But yeah, I was just talking amongst my teammates about what they're seeing, stuff like that, and trying to get prepared for the second half.
And when Ohio State's scoring the way that they were, is that sort of tough to balance as an offense, the need to press versus settling down and executing play to play, I guess, like you mentioned, playing every play and everything? I mean, what is that feeling like when they're scoring sort of at that rapid clip?
Yeah, I mean, the more you get down, the faster you have to play, but it doesn't matter how fast you're playing. You still got to be calm and slow in your mind pre-snap and make sure that you're taking in what they're giving you and then working off of that, because ultimately you got to work off what they're doing. We got to execute our stuff, but most of our stuff is based on, reading them and trying to make them wrong. So, but yeah, I mean, when they're scoring like that, we didn't help our defense. I turned the ball over twice, and that hurts a defense, and you can't do that as a quarterback. You can't turn the ball over. So I need to squeeze it tight when I'm running it and make sure I'm not throwing it to the wrong color. And then that'll set us up for better success.
Thanks, Peyton. Appreciate it.
All right, we have time for two more for Peyton. We'll start with Jim Comparoni and wrap up with Audrey Dahlgren.
Hey, Peyton, I think you completed your first 11 passes, 11 out of 11. What was working for you when you got in the game and started going a little bit?
Just trying to take in what the defense was doing and seeing, again, like I said, pre-snap, just see what they got going, and then getting the ball out of my hands quick and just going through my reads and taking it play by play. Football is made up of a bunch of separate plays, so it's almost like there's games inside the game, and you can really break down a game to many different levels, and you got to take it play by play. And if you can execute that play that you're currently in, then that gives you a chance to complete some passes.
And on the touchdown drive, you hit a deep one to Jaden Reed. What do you remember about that play, and how good did that feel to get that one going?
It felt good. I thought it was a good play call, and I knew they were going to be in man. And I guess that Tyler, our tight end, was open too. So they both ran really good routes. He did a good job selling it and got his eyes around and made a good catch and run.
All right, thank you.
We'll go to Audrey Dahlgren.
And there were some conversations this week about this being somewhat of a measuring stick game for you guys. And so as you look at how this game transpired and getting those 2 wins over the 2 top 10 teams prior, where would you say that you guys are at right now, 6 games in and with 1 game left?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got a lot of work to do right now, and I had a big win last week, but there really is no such thing as a measuring stick. What measuring stick is winning and losing. And it doesn't matter how you win. And if it's a W, it's a W. And today we got smacked in the mouth, and we got to, get ready to go next week. But yeah, there's no measuring stick. It's either you won or you lost. And today we lost, and that there's no doubt about that.
Thank you.
We have one final question for Peyton. It comes from Colton Pouncey.
Hey, Peyton, I know it's not really your call to start, but what do you think you bring to the offense? And do you feel like you're getting more and more comfortable with the experience you're getting out there?
I think each player has his own skill set, and, it's up to the coaches what they think, who they think has the best skill set to fit our offense. So I'm going to keep showing up and doing what I do and playing how I play. And, I'm going to keep competing, and that's all I know how to do, and that's all I can do moving forward. And I'm going to keep challenging my teammates to do the same.
All right, Peyton, that's all we have for you today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be joined by Antoine Simmons here in a second. All right, we'll take questions for Antoine in the chat. First question comes from
Antoine, I asked Peyton this about if any of you guys did you feel like or see this coming this week, knowing Ohio State circumstances?
No, we go in every game expecting to win. You don't go in the game expecting to lose or lose in that fashion. So we showed up. We played. We practiced all week. We had a good week of practice. Just didn't get the result we wanted.
What was the difference between last week and the run defense in particular, and being able to shut down Northwestern versus this week against Ohio State?
The quarterback was able to get out, make plays, zone read. I think the quarterback took that. That was quite a bit of chunk of yards just on that one play alone. And then we had a few misfit problems. So when you misfit, when you don't do your job, when you're not sound, that's what happens, so yeah.
Chris Solari. Next question is from Stephen Brooks.
Hey, Antoine, how would you describe the challenge of defending Justin Fields with all that he's able to do? And there's a couple of times today where even, initially they might have messed some things up and it ended up in a positive play for him one way or another. But just in general, your opinion of the challenge of defending a guy like that with his skill set?
You just do your job. You don't do anything extra. You don't do anything less. You just do your job. If he comes to you, you wrap him up, you take him down. And if not, you just got to do your job. That's what every player, you know what I'm saying, is. There's no secret trick or secret play or coverage you can run to stop really good players. You just do your job. You run to the ball and you hit. You know what I mean? And we didn't. I feel we didn't do those today.
Thank you.
Next question is from Matt Wenzel.
Hey, Antoine, Mel had talked about after the game, no 24-hour rule that you guys need to immediately start reviewing this film and preparing for Penn State. I was wondering, how do you go about that? Just that slight change where he's obviously not happy and wants you guys to turn it around and do it quickly.
I definitely agree with him. This is one of those ones where you just got to soak it up and really just absorb it. You go straight to the film and you watch it right afterwards and you let it marinate. If you're mad about how you played, be mad. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what you need to do, what you didn't do right, and deal with it. Don't sit there and pout and be like, I didn't do this, or I get it next week, or I'll fix it in practice. No. Let those emotions just sit in and marinate, and then come tomorrow with the right mindset, ready to just move on.
And obviously, being a weird year, this would have been senior day, your last scheduled game at home. How much did you think about that going in as a senior with nothing else on the schedule here? And obviously, all players get that extra year if they want it. Everybody individual decision. But how much did all that go into your thought process today?
Not thinking about it. I just wanted to show up and play, give it my all, and try to put my team in position to win a game.
Thanks, Antoine.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll go to Audrey Dahlgren.
Antoine, in your opinion, what makes Fields so elusive in the passing game and in the run game?
He can run and he can pass. It's pretty hard to stop quarterbacks who can do both. Usually if you get a guy who stays in the pocket, you want to blitz him, force him outside the pocket, make him a little uncomfortable. But a guy like Fields, you don't want that guy running all over the field. You want to have controlled rushes. You want to be sound in your rush. If you have the edge, you want to protect that edge. And if you're responsible for him, whether it's a spy or whether you're drop back and cut, whether you're in coverage and you can come off and come up and make a play on them, just got to do those things. Just believing in yourself, believing in your technique. That's really the only thing you can do. Like I said, when you're playing against good players, there's no magic trick. There's no secret coverage. There's no extra stuff you can do. You can just do your job, play sound, and make plays. If he comes to you, you got to make that play. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. It's just a game of football. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and our last question comes from Chris Solari.
Antoine, you were part of that 2017 game down in Columbus when they kind of had a similar game where they blew you guys out. You guys came back and won the next three. What lessons do you take from that in moving forward from a game like this?
like I said, you just let a game like this marinate. You know, if you're a younger guy, you're a guy coming back next year. You just really soak it in and really take a mental note of how this game turned out, what happened throughout the entirety of the game. You know, you let that marinate, you put that in the back of your memory, and you come back. Well, first you come in tomorrow ready to work and get through this week and whatever comes after that. But when the off season comes, is you circle that one and say, this is one of the ones we want. You know, I feel like every game, you know, with the games that got out of our hands, I feel like it was on us. You know, it wasn't on the other teams doing anything spectacular. I just feel like we shot ourselves in the foot today. We had penalties, unforced errors. We turned the ball over. We shot ourselves in the foot. You know, like for example, on the first drive, we had them stop 3 and out on the first drive, but we had a penalty, 15-yard penalty. You know, when teams get penalties, when teams get a 15-yard penalty, their likelihood of storing up on that drive skyrockets. You know, they went from like a 15, 20%, if that, storing chance to like 40, 50. You know what I mean? That momentum swung. I mean, you can't have that. You can't shoot yourselves in the foot. When you get the opportunity to get off the field, you got to get off the field.
All right, Antoine, that's all we have for you today. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Antoine.
All right, and that will wrap us up for today. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.